Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about the new League mechanic, Lunaria, how you can make the most out of it, and also a little bit tips and tricks about progression. Alright, I prepped an encounter here right now. So when you go into a map, you can see I went through here, and now here's the encounter. So these are all the mobs that you can break open, and the way it works is you want to break open as many as possible in one stroke, so in one strum. So this area here determines how many of the mobs are getting broken out. Pretty straightforward. Then you press the League Mechanic button, which you can assign in the control settings right here, Lunaria strumming, whatever you want, and then you break them open. Depending on how many you break open, you will get different tiers of loot multipliers. Now, in this encounter, there's sometimes special monsters, special encounters, there's like bosses. Okay, but the most important ones are these sparkles. They're frequently up there. They're like rares, and you can see them on the yellow dot on the mini map right here. So right there you can see the yellow dot. So you want to look out for those, and when they are somewhere, you want to put them in a explosion that is quite big. So you don't want to just explode them for like 4, you want to include them in a huge one. So for example, this one here, I will include it in one of my bigger explosions, and I press V, and you can see I can kind of do that. Now you can see 13 combo right there. That is in the highest possible tier of explosions. After 11, I think the combos go 5 and 6 are blue, 7, 8 are purple, 9 and 10 are yellow, and then 11 are the big ones. Those are the rainbow ones. And yeah, like I said, they give you loot multipliers. Here's the second one. This one unfortunately doesn't allow me for too much, but the bigger, the better. I have not really seen anything happen after the 11. So if you go 11 or 16, it doesn't really change all that much. But yeah, this is something you'll get over time. And this, all of what I just did also gets basically influenced by the items I will just show you. So these Lunar Harps are probably the biggest part. And if you're wondering why do I have so many golden ones, it's because I did a lot of Profound. If you start in tier 7s, you get blues. If in tier 8s, you can get these purple ones with better mods. And then starting in Profound, you can actually get these epic ones. And the effects just get better and better. Now, most important thing right here, this switch is very important. If you have Full Moon Radiance on, it will show it like this. And this makes the mobs a lot harder, and they also drop more loot. I don't know how much, it doesn't tell me, but it drops more loot, 100%. They get a lot tankier, and they deal a lot more damage, so play around with this. But if you can't run this, then it will have an impact on your loot quite a bit, so you can turn that on and off. The second thing is the items. This is the combo that I'm using. The most important one is Lunar Rhapsody. This one is incorrectly described here. I have been running this one non-stop. So basically what it says is Rhapsodies, which are these special events, right? So for example, the boss, or I don't know, it tells you what to do. It's kind of cute. Probability minus 50%, but you get 100% increased drop quantity when it appears. Not true. This 100 drop quantity, I believe, happens all the time. So you get it always. But the downside is a lot steeper. It's not minus 50, it's more like minus 90. If you put this on, these special encounters will get a lot less, and the boss is quite good. But the 100% extra drop quantity, you're gonna feel for sure. So I would still highly recommend doing this. However, if this ever gets bug, if it's a bug, I don't know if it's a bug or just a wrong description, because it still has like ups and downs. If the bug gets fixed, I will pin it in the comments. But this one is a no-brainer. Secondly, I have Moon's Echo. You will see in the map, I was wiggling around a little bit, and then I was pressing the button while moving. That is because of Moon's Echo. The way you can think about this is the circle, when you step outside of a mob, it will still count as tagged for 0.4 seconds. So what that means is you're just going to get more mobs into your radius, and the more movement speed you have, the more you can like run around, and they will still count even though they're technically not within the circle anymore. Super, super strong. And then Moonbloom String is there to reduce your lunar essence. This is especially important for special events where this will save your ass all the time, but also just in general, it makes it cozy. You're not really running out of charges ever, which at the start is annoying as hell. Talking about annoying as hell, what is the most annoying as hell is only having one maximum charge. You saw in that map, I started with 2, and the way you do that is with +1 to maximum charge. If you have these ones right here, you can get that in one mod. Otherwise, you'll have to dedicate 2 of the mods. And then initial charges also help a lot, but they are more something you can choose to do. But the by far most important stat is lunar radius. So the ring radius is everything. And you can see right here, I will stack it all. I might even cut my initial charges for it. It's just that good. So for me personally, it's You want exactly 1 maximum charge in total. Over that, and it's kind of overkill, and the rest all in AoE. Now, I found this right here. This is the Revive mechanic. The Revive mechanic is basically if you kill a pack of monsters, and afterwards it says Revive. I actually didn't catch it, but it will say Revive everywhere. Revive, revive, revive. If you press it again, it will get a huge more multiplier to your loot, and they all get cramped together. So you do this. This is a completely random encounter, and it can go to absolute crazy lengths. Now, do note that this loot is with max pets and on the highest difficulty, not the highest difficulty, but almost the highest difficulty, and everything, like all the juice in terms of compasses. But just to show you where this mechanic can get with everything set up correctly. What you can do as well is recycle your old strings. So you recycle it right here, boom, you click recycle and you get this currency, and then you can go over here and gamble it. Now, important to know is these currencies actually carry over from character to character, but these harps do not. So if you reroll into a new character, you will have to farm them anew. But you can just vendor everything you got and then go into a new character and gamble on that new character because the reroll currency stays. As for Pact Spirits, they will be the multiplier to how much you actually drop. Now, this league mechanic is new, and new league mechanics have a huge advantage, which is they are free in the map. You don't need to pay for them, so you're not competing with the market. So even if you have a low tier pet, you're still going to make some currency back, but how much will depend on the pet. And these are quite strong, but there's one thing I want to note here. There is 2 options, and it's a little bit buggy, but I'll go into it. When entering a Lunaria gameplay area for the first time, you want to have a setup with all Lunaria pets, right? If you have them. And then the second page, you want to set up with when using the strum button. And this one here, you can play around a little bit. So after you use the strum button, you can, for example, put in a chalk if you have one, or you can put in a Doro if you have one, or a Kong. Those do work with its on-kill effects. Everything else apparently does not work, but you can play around with that. Now, afterwards, the only thing I guess I'll say is the loot is very RNG heavy. This is something I get a lot, is like people are running them for 20 maps and they're like, this isn't that good. And then all of a sudden they get a huge revive and I don't know, a stack of 10 ulti embers. Okay, there you go. The sparkles are also a big deal. The rares, it's also you getting better at the game. Because at the start, you don't really know what's going on. You don't know how to package them. I know it looks really easy, but every like bit of fine tuning you getting from 8 combos to 10 combos is such a big deal. You farming up your gear here is such a big deal. Every big bit of radius counts. Now, the last big one for loot is the stone right here. There's 3 different stones. There's the blue one, dim lunar stone. There is bright lunar stone, and there's also a golden one, which is quite expensive and shouldn't really be used until you're in profounds and you have a lot of investment, or you're in like deep space maybe, but they're going up and up and up, so just forget about them for now. This one you should basically always use. It's like 0.6 FE per map, and it will give you good returns. It gives you 10% additional drop quantity, no downside. This one right here makes it counter quite a bit harder, 25% less damage, 15% taken, but it gives you 40% additional. These ones are like 7+ FE a pop, so I would only use them if you either have a high level pet and you're in profound. Otherwise, it's not really all that worth it. But this one should be used at every stage of the game. The rest will then go into God of War, which will make you faster, and faster is good. The duration is nice. Now, a lot of these points are, I wouldn't say wasted, but not really all that well allocated because you don't want to do any other mechanics. If you have a high level pet and you know there's another mechanic you want to add, you can of course do that. If you do that, you can just use the God of War combats, or just cut God of War completely, cut all of this nonsense, and also very cuttable are the Star Shards nodes, and these if you really want to. As for cards, the only no-brainer here is the 12% more drop quantity that costs you 25 star talents. It is quite worth it. If you're early on, you can take something else, but that's it. If you're tanky, take this one right here. It cuts your portals, but it gives 30 drop quantity, which is insane. I personally cannot do that on Profound right now with the difficulty that I'm doing, but if you can, then that's great. Otherwise, put the other one. This is like 5% extra quantity, whatever. Okay. You can also go for modules, but I wouldn't really recommend that. All right, but what do you do if you're still in Timemark 7s? So there is a lot of variations of boss rushing right here, because in tier 7s, not really all that much drops. Even Lunaria is not all that great in Timemark 7. It kind of starts in Timemark 8. Now, if you're still in 7s, what you can do is you go Prayer Sanctuary right here, and you just do it over and over, and you get extra star shards. I'll show you a little bit of the tree right now. But the way this layout works is you just go up and go to the boss immediately. You can even skip Lunaria or just press it real quick if you really want to. But yeah, this is a tier 7 map. You go to the boss, boom, and you killed it. Now, what you got from that kill is you got progression. So if you see Thunder Waste right here, this was 6, now it's 7. And once again, perfect. Now we go to Prayer Sanctuary again, and you do this over and over. Now, the faster you are, the better. This strat it can be quite boring because there's not really anything happening, but it is extremely efficient. And getting out of tier 7, for me personally, most of the fun starts in tier 8. So now I got 8, and afterwards what you want to do is you don't want to do the boss here. You want to swap to 7-2s, so get to 7-2s as soon as possible. Make sure you can actually run the boss, and in 7-2s you want to do the boss. The reason is, in 7-2s, the boss drops 2 maps instead of 1. So if you don't know, this drop right here is guaranteed in every tier 7. It's a tier 8 map. It's worth between 3 and 5 FE. And here you get 2, which is 6 to 10 FE. That is pretty cracked at the start of any league, at any journey. And then the beginning is worth a little bit as well. And you can have lucky drops theoretically. All you need for the setup is these 24 points right here. You want to have the extra star shards. You want to get some embers because it's going to help you craft your gear early on, and then resonators to sustain. If you're ever running out of maps, you can just go here to the trader and buy them right here. You can also buy them from the marketplace, but yeah. I guess at the end, some random progression tips. Always click through your stuff, especially this path of progression. There's Atlas points in here. There's passive points in here. There's free currency in here. And it just needs you to do certain things. I don't know, clear this, clear that, right? Like you can look over them, click through. Do not ignore this. It is insane, the difference between forgetting about it and not forgetting about it. Up here, there is the, I don't know, there's some stuff here that you can click through, daily rewards. For example, there is a legendary drop head coming up that you can get for day 7. You cannot get Lunaria, but you can get anything else. So you can save that for whenever you want to do it, or you can select a mechanic that you like. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the league. I'm probably going to roll off of Chromatic Shot soon and do something a little bit more experimental. Currently still waiting for Pier 2, so there's a lot of time to fill. And yeah, really enjoying the league mechanic. Hope you guys are as well. And since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.